this accident. And while this field is slow, we'll take this break and be right back. Rejoin us for our live coverage of the Northwestern Bank 400 from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Darrell Waltrip is still in the lead, followed by Terry Labonte, car number 44. Running in third spot is Kyle Petty. In fourth, Ron Bouchard, and Bobby Allison has fifth position. Now, there is Bill Elliott, who's running in 13th position, but he is having problems. This happened just a couple of seconds ago.
Well, Bob, you see him up there in the red and white number 9 in the second lane, sliding way high. You get an idea how slippery the track is. We don't even see any tire smoke. Bill is obviously sliding almost out of control. Remember, in the beginning, they picked and choose their races, and for the Elliots, they did not even run the short track. So he was really lean on experience vis-a-vis his career, because it's just been the last couple of years that the Elliott crew has been concentrating on the short tracks as well as the big tracks. Obviously, they've been very, very fast on the big tracks this year, but right now, they've got some setup work to do before this race goes too many more laps.
Well, 3 wins for Bill Elliott in Winston Cup competition already this year. At Daytona and, of course, at Darlington, the race that we televised for you just last week. Bobby Allison and Ron Bouchard are running right behind Kyle Petty as we look from inside Kyle's race car out the back window. Bouchard and Bobby Allison are running side by side in the corner. Now on the inside, Bobby Allison has the advantage and picks up the position. Bobby Allison moves into 4th spot.
Well, they're going down the front stretch into turn number 1, now turn number 2. Bob, I'll tell you, this is a very good day for Kyle Petty up to now. He's been running quite well. He mentioned he's not particularly happy with the setup of the race car, but he is keeping the leaders right in sight. Not only in sight, but within striking distance. He is only about 4 car lengths behind second running Terry Labonte. You see them going around the outside of Ed Sanger there, a dirt track racer from Iowa who's gotten a ride here in the Grand National race this weekend. First time in a long, long time that Sanger has run pavement. You see the camera whipping around. There is Labonte in the upper part of your screen. You see how close Kyle Petty is to Terry Labonte.
Labonte going to the outside of Dick May and putting a lap on him. There is the interval between first, second, and third. You can see Waltrip in the upper left corner of your screen. The blue car is Terry Labonte in second, and our in-car camera being carried by Kyle Petty running in third spot. Kyle had a very good qualifying day on Friday. They have a unique system of qualifying here in North Wilkesboro. They average 2 days of qualifying on Friday and Saturday. And after the first day of qualifying, Kyle Petty was second quickest, but he didn't go quite as fast on Saturday, and the average dropped him to a 4th place starting position. But he is looking good here in the early stages of this 400-lap race. There you can see how he's closing in very rapidly on Terry Labonte coming out of corner number 4.
You know, something else about the Woods brothers, they do not have a lot of recent experience at this racetrack. Remember, we were here last year for an ESPN televised race, and in anticipation of the 1985 season, Glenn and Leonard Wood brought Buddy Baker, then their driver, to this racetrack. It was kind of a trial balloon for this race today. And I'll tell you something, I think they learned something in 1984, because Kyle is very much in the thick of it.
And by this in-car camera, I think it gives you some idea just exactly how busy a race driver is on a racetrack like this. He's just come out of the corner and now already is thinking about getting into the first corner. There you can see the footwork as he steps on the accelerator, lifts his foot off the brake, going down the backstretch. Now he'll lift the gas pedal. There he does. Begin to step on the brake now and slow the car down, anticipating the turn. In the middle of the turn, it's hard back on the throttle.
Obviously, you don't shift, but you get an idea that both feet are always pretty busy. You know that brake pedal, they actually do use it, but it's almost as much for security feelings as it is for actually slowing the car. Kyle going to the inside of Labonte. I think Terry has gone to the high side of some slower traffic to try and lap some more people. Kyle gave it a look inside to see if he could get by, but definitely I would say Kyle is running on the racetrack right now faster than Terry Labonte. They're moving up around Bobby Gerhardt right now, the dirt track racer from up Pennsylvania way, now around the outside of Don Hume, and the first 3 leaders are staying together on the racetrack.
Well, Darrell Waltrip has lengthened his advantage a little bit because of the fact that Labonte and Petty have been caught in traffic. And you can see Waltrip again in the upper left portion of your screen. There's several car lengths difference between him and Terry Labonte, but Kyle Petty is right on the back bumper of Terry Labonte. They move outside and put a lap on J.D. McDuffie. Now let's go down to Jack Arute for this report from the pit area.
Bob, there's some concern in the Neil Bonnet pit about temperatures, as we said at the Open. The car is beginning to show some overheating. So the crew has been running around, and they hooked up a hose to one of the water spigots here, preparing for a pit stop to cool down the radiator. But a problem developed. When they got the hose all hooked up and they tried to squirt it, no water came out. So now members of the crew are running around trying to get some water under pressure for that first pit stop.
When we went green from the first caution period, the Eddie Birchwhale accident, and everybody else stepped on the throttle and began to pick up speed, Neil didn't, and it was the vapor lock situation. But after a few minutes, the car did get back up to speed, and now Neil is still on the throttle but has lost several positions because of that problem.
Just a quick update. During that caution flag, also Dale Earnhardt stopped, but you know, Dale Earnhardt has moved back up into the middle of the field. He seems to be running okay, but kind of an unexpected pit stop there early during that first yellow flag.
Darrell Waltrip is the leader of the Northwestern Bank 400 at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. We have completed 46 laps out of 400. Back with more in just a moment. April 25th at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, live from the Showboat in Las Vegas, Nevada. Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. As the Top Rank Boxing delivers another fabulous fight card. Featured bout pits undefeated featherweight Bernard Taylor against Benji Marquez. Plus, we'll bring you our Western Division Junior Middleweight Tournament semifinals. That's Thursday, April 25th at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. Dale Earnhardt has moved up to 11th position.
Well, remember we told you they made that pit stop underneath the yellow flag, but Earnhardt has really been moving up through the packs. And we got a spin in turn number 4. It's Richmond. Tim Richmond right in the middle of everybody. People coming around, taking evasive action, and I think everybody saw him.
Well, Bill Elliott, I think, had his heart come up into his throat there because he was running in the high groove and was going pretty fast, but Bill was able to cut the car to the left and slow it down and avoid hitting Tim Richmond's spinning car. That accident also, or that spin at least, very close to where Eddie Birchwhale had his spin down in corner number 4.
And he almost lost a lap, Bob, because he just got going under speed, his own speed again. As Darrell Waltrip came around, there were about 3 car lengths separating Tim from Darrell Waltrip. That was almost a very costly win, or costly spin, for the defending winner of this race. And the leaders are coming into the pits.
Waltrip, Labonte, Allison, Petty, Bodine, Bouchard, Gant, Rudd, all coming in for their first pit stop of the afternoon. We will watch Terry Labonte on the top of your screen and Darrell Waltrip on the bottom. Remember, only 2 tires can be changed during this caution period. If they change more than 2, it's a 2-lap penalty. And the 2 Junior Johnson Budweiser cars colliding as they come out of the pit area. But Terry Labonte made it out. Somebody's wheel, is up by the pit wall.
I'll tell you, I guess that's one of the things that can happen when you have a 2-car team. Of course, it may not be as big of a factor at this stage of the race on a short track, but it's the kind of thing that you really have to watch out for if you've got more than one team certainly pitted right next to one another.
Several other cars coming in for pit stops as a crew member goes over and retrieves that loose wheel that went clear to the pit wall, the wall separating the racetrack from the pits.
Well, what a break this is for Tim Richmond. It's also a break, I think, for Bobby Allison, who was moving up. He was having trouble gaining ground on the leaders. He was running at speed. He appeared to be running maybe as fast as, perhaps a little faster, certainly than the leader, Darrell Waltrip. But I think that Bobby Allison was the first one out of the pitch. Ken Schrader, by the way, has not pitted. He appears to be the leader right now.
I would imagine that he would pit. If he doesn't, then he will remain the leader. Behind him would be Bobby Allison, who has pitted, and then Kyle Petty, who has also pitted. No indication, though, of Schrader coming in for a stop, so Ken Schrader is the leader at this moment, with Bobby Allison and the Miller American Buick running in second spot. We'll be right back with more from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Bobby Allison has gone into the lead, putting Ken Schrader back into 5th spot right now. Kyle Petty is in 2nd, Terry Labonte in 3rd, then Jeff Bodine and Ken Schrader, but Ricky Rudd is moving around Ken Schrader, who did not pit during that caution flag. There's Bobby Allison, though, who is shown as the leader of this race. Bobby started in 3rd position, qualifying at 111.444.
Well, they've had some misfortunes, obviously, the last year, but the team remains, as always, very optimistic. Bobby has said that, well, I've had periods like this before where I've gone through relatively dry spells, but we'll come back. Last year, you had the feeling that because they were defending champions, and as we also look at Kyle Petty, that the Allison crew, headed up by Gary Nelson, they were doing a lot of experimenting, but I don't think that's going on quite so much this year as it was last year. They'd like to get a pole. They certainly want to win some races, but that man right there, the blue and white 711, number 7 of Kyle Petty, he is having a tremendous day.
Bobby Allison and Kyle Petty running 1-2 on the racetrack. Darrell Waltrip, because of that relatively slow pit stop in which he collided with Neil Bonnet, is back in about 7th position. And we had an opportunity to talk also with Darrell Waltrip, who indicated to us that the only way to survive here is stay out of trouble.
Well, that's been my philosophy. The way I drive a race car, and it's pretty simple. My car is that much better than everybody else's. I'll be out front and gone. If my car's a little off, or I don't feel comfortable with the way it's running, handling, whatever it may be, if something's got me a little out of sync, I'll back off, ride a while, wait for the crew to help me, wait for tires to help me, wait for wedge to help me, wait for whatever that missing ingredient is so I can go to the front. So if you see me leading a race early on, you can say they got her dialed in. If you see me struggling a little bit, you can say watch them because they're going to be working on the car. And that's what we do. I'll come in, Junior will put 3 rounds of bite in it, or we'll change the tire stagger, or we may work on the car all day long until we finally get it the way I want it.
Well, we've seen both instances already in this race. He has led and now appears to be struggling somewhat, running in 7th position, but certainly not letting the leaders get too far ahead. Buddy Baker in car number 88 is in. We hood up on the car. Let's get more information on that. Here's Jack Arute.
Buddy, what finally put you out of the race?
Something was wrong with the braking system. I don't know exactly what it was, but the brakes were applied all the time. When I backed off on the straightaway, it's just like I had my foot on the brake, and they caught on fire in the whole bit. So I don't think we're going back out again.
We've talked early on that weather's going to be a key factor here today. Do you think that the temperatures will dictate anything?
No, it's real nice out there. I thought it was going to be hot, but it's not hot.
That's the story.
Well, he's finished 4th twice this year in the Daytona 500 and in the Bristol 500. However, the afternoon appears to be over for Buddy Baker from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Well, you know, one of the tricks here is to do as well during the race as qualifying as we go back inside of Kyle Petty's car and look at Terry Labonte filling up, I guess, Kyle's rear view mirror and certainly our lens on our in-car camera. I was about to comment on Bobby Allison. They thought they could run as fast all day during the race as they qualified, and so far I guess they're doing it. But here's Labonte kind of turning the tables on Kyle Petty. Remember a few laps ago when Petty was really turning the wick up on Labonte? Well, now it's the other way around. Keep in mind, we're well up near the front of the pack. These two cars have run high into the top 5 all race long. For Terry Labonte, I guess you'd say that's routine. For Kyle Petty, maybe that's something that's going to become routine in the near future. There are many people who believe that this is certainly one of the finest teams in the history of Grand National Racing. A lot of people were saying it was only a matter of time before Kyle Petty really started to run competitively near the front, and today he is certainly doing it. That car is performing quite well.
And a couple of very good drivers are battling out there on the racetrack. Jeff Bodine in car number 5 and Ricky Rudd, car number 15.
Well, Bob, I've been watching Ricky, and he has been racing with a lot of people today and running both the low as well as the middle groove. That car seems to be running quite well. Bodine has been relatively quiet today, but running fast.
Rudd did very well in the race at Bristol and battled with Dale Earnhardt right down to almost the final checkered flag, but there are those that say that the reason why he didn't win that race was a decision he made on tires, and we asked him about that.
After Bristol, you were pretty hard on yourself. You said, I made the decision to come in for the tires, and I chose the wrong side. Last year at this race, tires really determined who was going to win the race. Let me ask you, Ricky Rudd, who's going to make those decisions at North Wilkesboro this time?
Well, Bud made the decisions last year, but it really, at that time, we changed 4 tires, which the rule was different. We did everything we were supposed to do. We changed 4 tires like you should have done. The trouble that we had, and really in practice, we have to debate whether or not we're going to set our car up to run a long time on hot tires, or we're going to